Hello, people. Day 7. Love believes the best. Love believes all things and hopes all things. 1 Corinthians 3, verse 7. In the deep and private corridors of your heart, there is a room. It's called the appreciation room. It's where your thoughts go when you encounter positive and encouraging things about your spouse. And every so often, you enjoy visiting this special place. On the walls are written kind words and phrases describing the good attributes of your mate. These may include characteristics like honest and intelligent, or phrases like diligent worker, wonderful cook, or beautiful eyes. They are things you have discovered about your husband or wife that is embedded themselves in your memory. When you think about these things, your appreciation for your spouse begins to increase. In fact, the more time you spend meditating on positive attributes, the more grateful you are for your mate. Most things in the appreciation room were likely written in the initial stages of your relationship. You could summarize them as things you like and respected about your loved one. They were true, honorable, and good, and you spent a good deal of time dwelling on them in this room before you were married. But you may have found that you don't visit this special room as often as you once did. That's because there is another competing room nearby. Down another dark corridor of your heart lies the depreciation room, and unfortunately, you visit there as well. On its walls are written the things that bother and irritate you about your spouse. These things were placed there out of frustration, hurt feelings, and disappointment of unmet expectations. This room is lined with the weaknesses and failures of your husband or wife. Their bad habits, hurtful words, and poor decisions are written in large letters that cover the walls from one end to the other. If you stay in this room long enough, you get depressed and start expressing things like, "My wife is just so selfish," or "My husband can be such a jerk," or maybe, "I think I married the wrong person." Some people write very hateful things in this room, where tell-off statements are rehearsed for the next argument. Emotional injuries fester here, adding more scratched remarks to the wall. It's where ammunition is kept for the next big fight, and bitterness is allowed to spread like a disease. People fall out of love in this room. But know this, spending time in the depreciation room kills marriages. Divorces are plotted in this room, and violent plans are schemed. The more time you spend in this place, the more your heart devolves your spouse. It begins the moment you walk in the door, and your care for them lessens with every second that ticks by. You may say, "But these things are true." Yes, but so are the things in the appreciation room. Everyone fails and has areas that need growth. Everyone has unresolved issues, hurts, and personal baggage. This is a sad aspect of being human. We have all sinned. But we have this unfortunate tendency to downplay our own negative attributes while putting our partner's failures under a magnifying glass. Let's get down to the real issue here. Love knows about the depreciation room and does not live in denial that it exists. But love chooses not to live there. You must decide to stop running to this room and lingering there for every frustrating event in your relationship. It does you no good and drains the joy out of your marriage. Love chooses to believe the best about people. It gives them the benefit of the doubt. It refuses to fill in the unknowns with negative assumptions. And when our worst hopes were proven to be true, love makes every effort to deal with them and move forward. As much as possible, love focuses on the positive. It's time to start thinking differently. It's time to let love lead your thoughts and your focus. The only reason you should glance in the door of the depreciation room is to know how to pray for your spouse. And the only reason you should ever go into this room is to write "covered in love" in huge letters across the wall. It's time to move into the appreciation room, to settle down and make it your home. As you choose to meditate on the positive, you will learn that many more wonderful character qualities could be written across these walls. Your spouse is a living, breathing, endless book to read. Dreams and hopes have yet to be realized. Talents and abilities may be discovered like hidden treasure, but the choice to explore them starts with a decision by you. You must develop the habit of reining in your negative thoughts and focusing on the positive attributes of your mate. This is a critical step as you learn to lead your heart to truly love your spouse. It is the decision that you make, whether they deserve it or not. In the beginning, when it first talked about the rooms, I heard this story when I was younger. It was a man died and went to heaven. And he gets up there and there's an angel showing him around. And the angel takes him to this like office type building. And they're walking down this hallway. And on the left and on the right are offices. And they're open and the doors are all open. And there's angels sitting at desks, and they have phones and post-it notes and notepads, and the phones are ringing off the hooks, and the angels are answering the phones, and they're writing notes down, and there's just so much commotion and hubbub and noise and clamor, and it's just, it's alive, it's hopping. And they're walking down this hallway, and it's just the man, there's room after room, and the man asks the angel, like, what is this? And the angel says, this is the prayer department. And all these angels, like, they're taking down the prayers. And they get finally to the end of the hall, and they turn the corner, and there's this one room, and it's a big room, but it's almost empty. And in the middle of the room, there's a single desk with a lamp and a single angel. And he's kind of like twiddling his pen, and the phone rings, and he answers it, and he takes a note, and he puts it down, and he's just sitting, and he's waiting. And the man asks, well, what's this room? And the angel tells him, this is the gratitude room. How often do we pray but not be grateful? It's the same with loving other people. Don't get sucked in by their negative. I tend to do that a lot. I am getting better by the grace of God. But I love helping people. It's one of my passions. Helping people literally helps me. Like, it makes me feel better. Sometimes I feel selfish because I feel so good after I get to help people. But I used to struggle really, really, really bad because no one ever helped me back, especially the people that I was in a relationship with. And I would be pouring my heart and my soul and all of my energy into the relationship and trying to think ahead of every possible need that they could ever have. And I would try to take care of it ahead of time and prep for it. That way, when they got there and they realized what they needed, I could just hand it to them and be like, look, I got it for you. It's right here. See, like, it's done. You didn't even know you needed it, but I knew you needed it because I cared and I love you and I thought about you and I planned and I prepped and I like doing that. I like taking care of people. I like anticipating their needs. It's one of the things that makes me a really good worker. Like, I always got commended by my bosses because I could evaluate the future almost and foresee what the needs would be, and I would be able to provide the solution before the problem even manifested. It's a skill. And it comes from love. But if you have that skill and you don't have anyone loving you back and doing that skill in your life to help you, you get worn down. We're humans. And then you do start to go to the depreciation room. And you're like, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep helping them? And they don't even say thank you. They don't even, like, I get all excited. Like, do they even have any idea, like, how much time and effort I tried? I tried so hard, and they don't even care. And it hurts so bad. And God let me be with those people because that's how God feels about us. He knows all of our needs. He knows everything. And He's trying to give it to us, and He's trying to set it all up. And He's trying to take care of us before we even know what we need. And either we give someone else the credit and we don't thank Him, or we don't even take what He prepared for us. And it hurts His feelings too, and it makes Him sad. And love never fails. True love never fails. And so, as I've been going through this Love Dare book, I've been praying that God helps me to have the same love and patience and endurance for the people that hurt me, the same way He has love and patient endurance for all of us humans that are hurting Him. And the dare for today is get 2 sheets of paper. On the first one, spend a few minutes writing out positive things about your spouse. And remember, this isn't just for your spouse. If you're single, if you're in a relationship, anything, if there's a human being around, these concepts apply to everyone. Your children. These concepts aren't just for spouses. This is love. In a marriage, you're supposed to stay with that person forever. So you're forced, and you have to have true love, or you're going to get a divorce. You're going to be broken. And so just remember, though, these love strategies, they're for everyone. They're not just for marriages. The book is focusing on marriage, but the love is for everyone. So take it with a grain of salt. If it's saying spouse or husband or wife, I know some people are that word, stop thinking about it that way. Realign your thinking and just focus on the love aspect. So on the first sheet of paper, spend a few minutes writing out positive things. Then do the same with negative things on a second sheet. Place both sheets in a secret place for another day. There is a different purpose and plan for each. At some point during the remainder of the day, pick a positive attribute from the first list and thank your spouse for having this characteristic. And the questions that go with it. Which list was easier to make? What did this reveal about your thoughts? What attribute did you thank your spouse for having? And the Bible tells us to focus on things that are good, holy, pure, lovely, admirable. It says focus on these things, because those are the things of love. Focus on love and the little ways that people, and the big ways too, that people hurt you and fail. Those will be like nothing when you learn true love. You'll still struggle sometimes because life isn't easy and love isn't easy. But keep your eyes on the Lord, who created love and demonstrated it, in that while we were still sinners and while we were still hurting Him and denying Him and saying basically F you, He came down to earth and lived a perfect, loving life and let the world torture and mutilate and destroy Him. And He did nothing wrong except for love us. And He did that while we didn't love Him. So that when we were ready, it was already taken care of. He foresaw the future. And He took care of it for us before we even knew. That is true love. That you would lay down your life for your friends. And the Lord loves you. And He did. He gave His only Son. And His Son went willingly because He loves you too. I love you guys. You got this. We got this. It's not easy, but you can do it. Have a great day.